Hey, what's up, everyone? We got another game tonight, so this is going to be the semifinals. So basically, this is like knockout round. We have to win this game to advance to the finals. Otherwise, we end up in the participation loser bracket. So definitely don't want that to happen tonight. So since the last game, it's been kind of a bit of a rough week. I had a couple of skates, but I've also been fighting this cold still. So my entire family's sick. Things have been a little bit crazy this week. I haven't really done any stretching or any kind of like goalie related stuff. I didn't even do my laundry from the last couple of games, so I'm gonna be wearing some kind of like wet, stinky socks and stinky undergarments today because I totally forgot to do any laundry. So the team that we're playing tonight, if there's one team that I think could be like a dark horse of the playoffs, I think this is the team. Through the regular season, this team, I played twice against them, and combined with those two games, they lit me up for 15 goals between those two games. So it's just one of those strange teams that we just like have a bit of trouble handling. Some big bodies that they have on their team, huge goalie on the other end as well too that can move really well. So, and as these playoffs progress, obviously as a goalie, the pressure cooker kind of starts a little bit. In your opinion, what type of pressure do you feel when you're playing playoffs? Like, does it change from playing the regular season to the playoffs? For me, I used to maybe not handle it as well as I used to. I used to kind of overthink things, kind of like over preparing maybe. Like I think last year during the playoffs, like I was trying to get on the ice like every single day, so I would be like super ready for the actual playoff game, but that kind of backfired. I just ended up being too tired, and and the night before the games, usually I'm like kind of overthinking things. This time around, and I'm a little bit of a different goalie, like a year later now. I'm just going to try to, take it like any other game, not really try to overdo things or overthink things, just, stick to my game plan. But one thing that I do want to try to, again, focus on a little bit more is usually when goals kind of go in, it's usually you don't really put like 100% effort into that one shift where they're kind of like buzzing around your zone, and there's usually like a bit of a mental lapse which causes a goal to go in. So I'm really going to try to, as soon as that puck crosses the red line, is just to stay like completely focused and just go and just try to put everything out on the table while they're in our zone. And then when they leave, that's a good time to just like take a bit of a breather. And this is something that I think I've learned over the regular season, letting in a bunch of goals. A lot of my bad habit is kind of getting a little bit lazy through the game and kind of just not always putting 100% when the puck is in our zone. Unfortunately, that's just kind of like pure laziness on my end, so we're gonna have to try to clean that up, especially if we want to make the finals and end up winning the championship. So puck drops in a little bit over an hour. I get my gear sorted out. Anyway, I'll see you on the ice. So the thing is with this team is they're pretty heavy up front with some big boys. So not the most skilled team, but we don't have much size on defense, so the big forecheckings definitely take advantage of that during the game. Not much going on in the first period, so we go into that second period tied 0-0. So if there's one piece of advice going into the playoffs is just to forget about that regular season and just try to be in the moment. And really just don't slack off. Be on your toes at all times. Whether that be a face-off draw or something harmless like your D carrying the puck up the ice, you don't want any surprises to go in during a crucial game like this one. So definitely this penalty shot I wish I could have had back. You can definitely tell by my body language after this goal that I could have played it much better by holding the top of my crease, but in this situation it's best to just have short-term memory and move on to that next save. We were definitely getting our chances on the other end there, but we just didn't have any puck luck at all. And we go into that third period down 1-0. So this is a pretty much do or die period here. The other team really poured it on, a lot of pressure. They only had 2 lines this evening, but that meant that their top stacked line was out every other shift, causing us to get stuck in our zone most of the period.
were definitely getting our chances on the other end, and we finally break through the 1-1 tie. And of course, with under a minute to go, I do this crazy thing here. So the old one-hander, get the puck out of the way, and we go into that overtime with a chance to go into the finals.
Hey, just got back from the game. What can I say? Kind of lost for words right now. I was hoping in overtime we would have pulled it out, but unfortunately we lost 2-1 in a nail biter game. I mean, I don't think you can really get any closer than that. I felt like I kind of did everything I could on my end. Obviously I wish I could have stopped that penalty shot or made a huge save in overtime to keep it going, but what can I say? 2-1 game, super close. I mentioned earlier today in the pregame that this is one of those teams that we just always had troubles playing with. They have some big bodies, big boys out there, and hard forecheck, and just that style of play. We have difficulty playing against that, and it really showed tonight. But either way, got to hand it to the boys. They played really well these playoffs, and nothing to be disappointed about. So our next game is going to be just playing for third place. Obviously we wish we could be playing for the championship, but it is what it is. We still get pizza after the game, so the league always gives us pizza after. So I love pizza, so I don't really mind that. But I'm going to keep it short tonight. Just kind of try to digest everything. I don't even really want to look at the highlights and see what happened on that final goal. Like, it looked like I felt like I was maybe out of position or something like that, or I think everyone thinks that the guy in front tipped it, because I didn't really see the shot, but it definitely went like a weird angle. But I mean, I know there's always next season, but as the years go by, still looking for that ice hockey championship. I haven't really been too successful in ice hockey. I was hoping that this year, with all the work that I put in, I thought that we had a really good chance to win it all this year, but it is what it is. Anyways, gonna get stuff in the dryer. Gonna head back in, get some food, and probably just call it a night. Take care, guys. Hey guys, so just quick update on the playoff journey here. I actually missed our final game. I got just really ill after that last game there. I'm still actually not fully recovered from whatever the heck it is that I caught. For those of you wondering, our team did win that final game, I think 6-5, and ended up taking third place. Not really the finish that we wanted, but there's always going to be next season. Hopefully we can come back stronger and fight for a championship and make the finals. Thank you so much for all tuning in and just checking out the team, seeing the ups and downs of a beer league schedule. I hope that gives you guys a bit of an insight on basically my life as a beer league goalie. So officially the off season has started. I've already started some off-ice training, like getting on the weights and getting on the cardio bike and things like that. That's something that I'm going to share with all of you guys coming up shortly. I'm just taking a couple weeks off the ice until we hit up some shinnies starting in April, so that's coming up fairly shortly. The one thing that I'm excited about to announce is I will be joining a new team for the summer, and this time I'll be playing in ASHL. And I think the one thing that's going to be scary is, for those of you who don't know, I'm turning 43 this year. I will be playing on a 19-plus team, so definitely a little bit worried about playing against a bunch of youngins. I don't know if I can really keep up, so going to be trying to do a lot of kind of off-ice training, kind of get my foot speed up until then, and hopefully hit the ground running with that team. But, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I just wanted to give a little bit of a channel update. I mean, most of the stuff on the channel lately has been, game footage of my team going through the season. But now that there's, no regular season to kind of go through. Expect some different types of videos. So hopefully I'll show some of my off-ice training routines. Finally be able to talk about the gear that I've been going through, which fortunately I've sold most of it, but I'll kind of mention about, the process that I went through in selecting leg pads and things like that. And just like whatever random stuff that comes up in the summertime. Thanks so much for tuning in. I mean, it's been a great journey and hopefully continue that through the summer and on to the next season. So I just wanted to say thanks to all of you for tuning in to the channel and kind of supporting our team and kind of going through this season. It's really great to hear those comments and critiques about my own game. Always try to make adjustments based on what all of you have said. So I'm going to go head in there and grab some NyQuil and hopefully pass out and just get better. But in the meantime, stay healthy and keep stopping pucks, and I'll see you guys in the next video.